Right now, somewhere in a hospital, a doctor is looking at a patient's chart and quietly writing down something that sounds like a diagnosis. It's not cancer. It's not heart disease. It's lives alone. If you handed a doctor two patients with identical bodies, identical blood work, everything the same, except one had close relationships and the other didn't, the lonely one is statistically more likely to die first. Not eventually. Sooner. Measurably sooner. In 2010, psychologist Julianne Holt-Lundstad pulled together data from 148 studies covering more than 300,000 people, tracked over years. She wasn't looking at feelings. She was looking at who lived and who died. People with weak social connections had a dramatically higher risk of death than people with strong ones. Then she compared that risk to the ones doctors already take seriously: obesity, physical inactivity. Weak social connection matched, and in some comparisons exceeded, the mortality risk of smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. Not one cigarette. 15. Nobody warns a lonely person they're doing the statistical equivalent of a pack of cigarettes a day. So why would isolation carry a risk on the level of a physical toxin? Go back far enough, and the answer is simple. For almost all of human history, being alone wasn't a lifestyle choice. It was a death sentence waiting to happen. No group to share food, no one to keep watch while you slept, no one to help if you got hurt. A human alone on the savannah wasn't independent. A human alone on the savannah was prey. Your nervous system was built inside that reality, and it hasn't been updated since. When you go days without real contact, some very old part of your brain isn't thinking, "I should call a friend." It's thinking, "I am alone, unprotected, exposed." Neuroscientist John Cacioppo spent decades studying what that actually does inside the body. Chronic loneliness raises stress hormones, disrupts sleep, and quietly increases inflammation day after day. Not one dramatic spike, a slow leak that never gets patched. Over years, that leak shows up in exactly the mortality data Holt-Lundstad found. Humans figured this out long before any scientist put a number on it. Solitary confinement is one of the harshest punishments we've ever devised, and it's used because it works. Prisoners held in extended isolation have developed symptoms that look almost identical to physical illness. Locking someone in a room with food, water, and shelter, everything the body technically needs, is still considered severe psychological damage. Not because the body is deprived, because the connection is. Now compare that to right now. More people live alone today than at almost any point in recorded history. Work moved online. Errands moved online. It's entirely possible to go an entire day without one real face-to-face conversation. Your ancient nervous system has no category for that. It only has one setting for extended isolation, and that setting is danger. Here's the part that should be reassuring. The research isn't asking you to fill your calendar or fake enthusiasm for crowds you don't enjoy. It's about quality, not quantity. A short, real conversation counts. A regular call with someone who actually knows you counts. Your nervous system just wants proof, again and again, that you're not out there alone. So think back to that doctor's chart. Lives alone isn't a personality note. It's a risk factor sitting quietly next to the ones we already take seriously. You avoid a cigarette because you know what it's doing to you, even without feeling it in the moment. Loneliness works the same way. Quiet, cumulative, invisible until it isn't. The next time you let a call go to voicemail for the third week in a row, remember what 200,000 years of evolution built into you. Your body isn't being dramatic. It's running the oldest alarm system it has. You skip a cigarette because you know what it does to your body. Maybe it's time to treat a phone call the same way.